So welcome to Challenge the Road. We're here at Tyrepoint Maidstone. We're here to have a look at the Michelin Performance Centre they've got, but also the tracking and balancing of performance cars. We're going to put the Ford, which I've been driving. I don't think it's been balanced and tracked that well, so we're going to see how far out it is, give you some knowledge on that, and also what tyres I would choose for this Ford Focus RS. Focus is in the bay. What we're going to do first is we're going to balance the tyres. These were refurbished and Pirellis with the tyre I had at the time. They're pretty new, but I want to know that they're balanced correctly to then go to the tracking. Tyre wise, now quite a few performance Michelins now. You've got Sport 4s, 4S and 5s. I will probably go for a Sport 5 because I want a bit of road comfort. The 4S is more the performance version, but I would probably go with a Pilot Sport 5. It's going to be interesting because I don't know how well balanced. When you balance these wheels, obviously they add weights here. Seems like there's a lot on there, so it'd be interesting to see what goes on when it's actually balanced correctly. And then we can have a look at the differences between the tyres. So there's the original rim with the Pirelli tyre. This is the 4S. So this is the performance version from Michelin. Most people use this currently, but the Sport 5, a little bit more road use, probably a little bit better in the winter. If you see the grooves, much wider here than this one in the 4. That's got a narrower channel. So you're getting more of a contact point on the 4S. The 5's also an exceptional tyre, but with the English weather, I'd probably prefer the 5. And it just gives you an idea of the differences. But yeah, it'd just be interesting actually if I can get the 5s on. Maybe in a few weeks we'll come back. Price-wise, this is pretty standard tyre, 225 4018. These are around £125 each for a Sport 5, which I think is very, very good value. Yeah, so we're heading over to balance the rims. So it's just going to attach that to the alloy. Will this then give us a reading of how far out of balance it is as it was?
Yes, it will.
Okay. Because that's what we really want to see.
Measure the wheel diameter.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so we're just going to clamp the wheel on the machine. Let the spindle lock into place, and then we will measure the wheel diameter. And then what the machine will do is then spin the wheel, and it will calibrate how far out the weights are on the original setup.
So on this screen, when we see this data then, so this is just spinning around.
So as you are 15 grams out on the outside and 10 grams on the inside. So it's 25 grams on one wheel. That would give you quite a lot of a shake just on one wheel itself. So
and that's where I'm feeling that.
Yeah,
okay,
that's what's giving you the wobble on as you're accelerating.
Is that sort of grams, 15, how does that measurement, 15 and 10 is weighting?
Yes.
So,
yeah. So as it stands at the moment, you've got 25 grams over here, and it wants 15 here. So it's trying to counterbalance the weights that are on there already.
Right, okay. And that's why I'm getting also so much torque steer probably as well.
Yeah, yeah. It's giving you a lot of vibration through the steering.
Right,
and then obviously if you've got a slight wheel alignment issue as well, that will also exaggerate that as well because the wheels are then trying to pull back.
Right, okay.
And then it would fight, the balancing would then fight the alignment.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, great. Well, I look forward to see the rest of them.
Yeah.
So you add some weight now.
Yeah, so we'll take the original weights off, then we'll clean the wheel up, and then we'll put new weights on, and then we should get a zero.
Okay, great.
Okay, so I'll just use some cleanup. And then at Tyrepoint, we also like to try and colour code the weights as best as we can. So being a silver wheel, we'll use silver weights. If it was a black wheel, we'd use black weights.
That's quite nice actually, because I've had wheels before with different coloured weights,
Yeah.
and it doesn't
look
look
nice.
right, does it?
No.
It doesn't look right.
We try and hide them as much as we can, but
So normally, as I say, original wheels like my 22B had the weights on the outside of the alloy. That would have been back in the 90s.
yeah, because
And now
they use what they would call a bang-on weight. So on this wheel,
Yeah.
you've got a very slight lip, so potentially you could use a bang-on weight,
Right,
but we don't
okay.
like to do that because then that inhibits corrosion in the wheel because you're damaging the wheel and you're
Okay.
taking the paint away,
Right,
which
okay.
then in later on in life would then make the tyre leak,
Right.
which not what you want to do really.
So this machine is giving you the exact position to put
Yeah.
the weights to make it correctly balanced.
That's it.
If you're talking grams though, is perfect. So is 10 grams a lot on a
If
wheel? How much
some-
play would that give you?
Some vehicles you can, it depends how old the vehicle is and how tight the suspension components are.
Okay,
If it's an older vehicle and there's a lot of play in the suspension, 10 grams would make a lot of difference. If you
Okay.
had a brand new vehicle and you
Yeah.
had 20 grams, you probably wouldn't notice it as much.
Okay.
So the older the vehicle, the more suspension sags and droops
Yeah,
and gets
okay, yeah.
loose. Things start to wobble and then it would
Right,
just
okay.
exaggerate the wobble even more.
Okay.
But yeah,
No,
that's,
that's good. So that's
perfect.
perfect.
That's one done.
Okay. So that was the front left corner. So it'd be interesting what
Yes.
the front right is now. So we're at the stage now where they've all been balanced, quite interesting. But other interesting things, I thought the tyres were new, but they were in 2014. So there are date stamps on the tyres, which we'll take a look at in a bit, where you can see how old your tyres are. So even though I bought the car and the customer I bought it from said they were new, they were, but most tyres should really be replaced after 5 years. So I've ordered the Michelin Sport 5s, they're going to come in, obviously that'll be for another video. But you saw how far out it is just with balancing, so it should drive much better now. I'm looking forward to getting it on the actual tracking now. And also tyre pressure is very important again, really important. It'll be interesting what they come out at in a minute. So what we're going to look at now is tyre pressures. Now, on the inside of most cars, have a look at here, look, there'll be a sticker, and on that will tell you the correct tyre pressures. So on this, it should be 33 front, 30 back. Sometimes I like to have them the same, so I might go 32, 32. If you have a lower pressure, the car will oversteer more. So like on the Astons, I have it a little bit lower. The higher you have it, the more the car understeers. But yeah, it'd just be interesting to see. So what
that
is this
was on
one?
28.
28,
Yes.
so quite low.
And that needs to be on
Okay.
33.
Yeah.
And we shall check the rears. That one's on 26.
26?
Yes.
Yeah,
It needs
so
to
I
be
haven't
30.
checked it since
Yeah.
I come back from restoration. So
And that's now 30. We'll do the same
so
on the
these
other
are just
side.
going to be as standard settings?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then I can
Yeah.
move around from there.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that quite low, isn't it?
The thing is, if you haven't driven it a lot, then over the winter
Well,
they
yeah,
can
I've
drop,
only
and
just
over
got
the
it
summer
back,
they can
so-
increase. Temperatures make a big difference. That's on 24.
24?
24.
Yeah, we said it was. Thing was, when you have low profile tyres, sometimes you don't realise they're low.
No, you don't. That's why we see a lot of vehicles.
Where's the markings on the tyre, you know, for the age of the tyre? Where would it
The dot code
So, yeah,
is located in a little oval. It's week 19, year 14.
Right, okay.
Yeah, it'll always be after the DOT number, and then it'll be just after that.
Okay,
It's
that's
only on one
useful
side
to
of the tyre.
Okay.
And that's 32, because I've just done that one.
So that one's high and that was 26, so it's going to unbalance it, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Right, now we can talk up the
Okay.
wheels and then move on to alignment.
Yeah, great. Yeah. So let's talk about the talking.
Okay.
Talking.
Torque.
So
yeah.
how does this work? Because obviously you don't want to over twist the wheel nut, is that right?
Right. Yeah,
So,
that's it. So this is calibrated to a Newton meter. So on this vehicle, it's specified at 140 Newton meters torque per wheel bolt.
Is that more than a normal Focus? or-
Yeah, a standard Focus would be about 120 Newton meters.
right, okay.
And then the bigger the wheel bolt, say like on a Range Rover, they're like 160 Newton meters.
Okay.
So that's why I checked on this, whether it was 120
Oh,
standard.
yeah, so
Being an
you go
RS
off
model,
with it, yeah.
I'd rather check to make sure it's right.
Yeah.
So it's set at 140 Newton meters.
Right, okay.
So we'll go on with it.
Leave you to it.
and then when it clicks, it means it's tight enough. We don't like to talk. Locking nuts as tight. And just go around and double check, and then that's that wheel done.
Great. 3 more to go. Are you ready? While he's just doing the talk, I didn't want to tell him, but I've ordered the 4 Michelins for him, but he's going to spend all this time doing all the car. I don't know, I'm going to break it to him at the end to say that we're going to come back and do all the Michelins in like a week's time. Anyway, let's see how that goes.
We're going to raise the ramp to a working height.
Yeah,
we're going to apply the gauges,
Okay.
and then we are going to do what they
So
call
what's applying the gauges? What does
these are the gauges here. One's
Right,
fixed
okay.
to each wheel,
Yeah,
so that the
okay.
computer can calibrate each position of each wheel on the
Okay.
vehicle. And then we do what they call a compensation roll. So that takes
Okay.
away any discrepancies that are, say, a twisted wheel or anything like that,
Okay.
that will give you
To
any
get it
slightly, say you haven't put the gauge on 100% straight or in central, so you do a roll compensation, that takes away any discrepancies in that sense. And then we will do what they call a caster swing. So that measures your left turn, your right turn,
Yeah.
centralises the steering wheel, and then we can make our adjustments from there.
Okay. Go for it.
Right. Nice.
This is also the new VIP area for Tyrepoint. Telly, little table. Let's just make sure they got some drinks though. Oh yes. And a little bar, that's good. Little coffee machine. Yes, nice addition actually. I've just come up while we're filming. There's a big Tyre Lamborghini. But yeah, it's nice to have this, nice and peaceful, and I can do a few phone calls.
Okay, these are the wheel gauges, and the camera's up there on that crucifix. Pick up the position on each wheel, and when we do the compensation roll, that will then roll forward, face the cameras, and then the machine can measure where each wheel's sitting. These are fully adjustable, so they can fit about 100% of vehicles as long as they're applied correctly. That's as easy as that. Now I'm going to go and roll the vehicle forward, and then the flags will pick up into the centre, and that will make me stop onto the turn plates. Stay down, stay down. Yeah. Chock the wheels so they don't move. And we should lock the brake, then do a caster swing, and then see what our measurements are. So this is the brake lock. We use this to stop the vehicle from rolling while we're taking our measurements. And that's that applied. So this is your rear wheels. So anything green is within manufacturer specifications, anything red needs to be adjusted. The left-hand rear wheel is within specs. The right-hand rear wheel is towed in. On the front wheels, the cambers are within specifications, casters are within specifications, although they're not adjustable. The near side front toe is within specs, but the offside front needs to be adjusted as well. So the offside front wheel and rear wheel are fighting against each other. Now we shall make some adjustments. Very rusty.
It's nice to be able to get under this car and just have a look. You can see Bit of wax oil here. This looks pretty clean all the way through actually.
Where it was
Has got a performance exhaust, but
May have burnt the motor out.
I assume that's from here.
You'd have unplugged it, it'd have been all
No,
right.
it looks pretty good.
It'd literally just be a matter of time.
Well, we were using
A few aftermarket, I see that's the air filtering.
We was unplugging it, but when we were needing the machine, we was using it.
A few motorsport pipes there.
All right, I'll put it through.
But yeah, it's nice to get under the vehicle and have a look.
Yeah, and this is your steering arm, which is what does the adjustment on the front axle. You just unloosen the lock nut and then turn this bar to push this track rod end in or out in whichever direction you require. That was the plan. So let's do this side because we're here. And this is the worst side.
So what's the tolerance sort of at the moment? 3, 4?
Your total tolerance is 0.09, discrepancy between both sides.
Right, okay.
So if you had,
So that's acceptable there,
yeah. With it, that's within specs because it's green.
Okay.
But we like to get them as close to the middle as you can.
Okay.
Because if you don't get them in the middle, you could end up with a slightly off-centered steering wheel.
Right, okay.
So we'll tighten that one up and then we'll move that side.
Okay.
Sorry, mate. Wrong spanner. That's locked off. We just need to move this side now, if we can. Oh, that might need some heat. Let that settle. And that's your after.
Could we put side by side?
So it's been an excellent afternoon here at Tyrepoint. We've had the balancing done, we've had the tracking done. All I've got to do now is drive the car home and see how it drives, but I'm sure it'd be a huge improvement. But I'm just going to put a link to a video I done with JM. Have a watch of it, because I had a big crash a long time ago where I had a puncture on the rear, I fixed it, I had a puncture again on the same tyre, I fixed it, and then I ended up in a massive accident. So tyres are absolutely critical to your car. So what you're looking for, correct tyre pressures, correct balancing, how old is the tyre you've got. If it's over 5 years old, you may need to look at replacing it. I'm going to replace these to Michelin 5 Sports. I'm really excited about that. I haven't told the guy here at Tyrepoint, who's been helping us so much today, about that yet, because I didn't want to ruin his day. But next week, we'll get the Michelins put on and we'll see how they go. Please like and subscribe to our channel. We've got more coming soon, and I'm really looking forward to driving this on Michelins.